Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike, and I've got a new feature for the channel. I'm going to start everything I listen to during the week. I'm just putting in a record crate, and at the end of the week, I'm going to share with you what I've been listening to. And I think it's a good way to learn about the stuff that I like to listen to and maybe see what someone else's collection looks like. So I thought maybe I'll start that. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a cool thing or if you could care less. First one I'm going to show you today is Big Bill's Blues. This is Big Bill Broomsey, 1958 on Columbia Records, and the big track off of that is Keys to the Highway. Pretty interesting record. It kind of sounds like it was recorded in a hotel room, which sort of looks like there. It's a cool record though, and it's very authentic, early Columbia. I like that one. It gets somewhat regular play. What I'd say, Ray Charles is 1959, so I guess I was on a bit of a 50s kick this week, but love that track, and this album's so cool. Ray at his peak, I think, right there. Up next, I have the Beatles' White Album. This happens to be a numbered copy of the White Album. It's a US pressing, and it has all of the inserts, the poster, and so you have the big fold-out poster plus all of the headshots that came with that pressing as well, which is one of the first albums, I believe, to ever do that. I don't know how many people were doing that before the White Album, but I can't remember off the top of my head any that I've ever seen, so let me know. I think the Bob Dylan Greatest Hits had a poster around that time, but I think it was after, so see who came first. Up next, this is one I almost didn't show, but I thought, well, no, this is what I'm listening to. And so sometimes, you see a lot of record channels and guys will show you albums of, things that you'll never ever find and that you've never heard of, and it's expensive. This is not the case. You will find this everywhere you look, and probably for no more than $5. And it's the Doobie Brothers, Taking It to the Streets. Great album. I'm not a huge Michael McDonald fan, but I like this record, and there's some good stuff on it. So that's what I was listening to there this week so far. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're a big fan of rock and roll and you like records, guitars, and stories about rock and roll, be sure to give us a like and subscribe and ring that bell. It helps us to grow the channel and keep more stuff coming. Thanks a lot. Okay, you'll notice with me, I am all over the map with what I listen to, and this one will kind of demonstrate that. This is a live album from 1973, Hawkwind Space Ritual. This is a reissue, but it sounds really good. Double album and live, and of course, if you're not familiar with Hawkwind, this is the band that Lemmy from Motorhead started in. But pretty interesting, very psychedelic, spacey stuff, space rock, I guess you could call it. But a cool listen, very different. Up next, this is McKenna Mendelssohn Mainline. This is signed by Mike McKenna. For my Canadian viewers, which is probably a lot of you, these guys were big in the Toronto scene in the 1970s. And they're such a cool blues band, and so Mike McKenna signed this one to me, and it was made out to I used to have a rock and roll museum. That's who he made that out to, so that's pretty cool to have that one. Great listen. That album's called Stink, if you ever get a chance to hear that one. Last up for the records before we jump into CDs is another one from around that time, and this is King Biscuit Boy, Good Uns, and it comes in the flour sack, so you get the true King Biscuit flour feel for sure. Which, if you know anything about blues stuff, the King Biscuit Flour Hour was a lot of when the blues players would be performing and things like that, and they were a sponsor of it at that time. So that's what this is. But it's a band that was definitely linked a lot with Crowbar in Canada. Pretty cool listen anyway. So check that one if you like nice, solid electric blues stuff. Okay, now we're going to move into the CDs I was listening to this week. I can't believe I got through all this actually in a week, but I did. Up first, Allman Brothers, Eat a Peach, and this is on the Capricorn Remasters ones. That's a great album. If you're looking to just try to see what Allman Brothers stuff you might like, this is a good place to start for sure. And on that same vein, we have Government Mule and an earlier one. I don't know what year this came out. 2000. That one came out. Government Mule. So I'm one of those guys that still listens to CDs and still enjoys CDs. You know, I think streaming has its place. You know, I definitely do still stream music, but it's more when I'm doing other things, you know, in the car or you know, out in the yard, things like that. I'll tend to stream stuff. But if I'm in my studio and listening, it's going to be a physical copy of something. This is Neck and Neck, Mark Knopfler and Chet Atkins, and a couple of really good guitar players right there on that one. That was out on Columbia Records. Pretty cool. This is a compilation album, 2 Graham Parsons records on 1 CD, GP and Grievous Angel both on there. So there's 20 songs on this. It's kind of all you ever would need for Graham Parsons' collection. And if you like that sort of country stuff that he does, that's what's on there. El Corazon, Steve Earle. This is a great record. He, you know, to me is kind of hit and miss. But this is, I love this CD, and I don't know when this came out, but it was probably around the year 2000, 1997. A bird just hit the window of my cabin, so if you wondered what that was. This is really worth checking out. If you know, look that one up, it's quite good. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, one of my all-time favorites. This is the movie soundtrack to She's the One, and of course it was reissued on vinyl a couple of years ago. This is such a good soundtrack. So many good songs on here, but I think the single was Walls that came off of that. That was really good. And the last thing I was listening to this week was The Stooges and Funhouse, and that one on CD this time. So there you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that look at what I've been listening to and what's in my personal collection. And I'm hopefully going to post one of these at the end of each week just as a kind of a recap. And I'm sort of on a quest to listen to everything I have here before I start adding much new and thin out stuff that's not really hitting me and keeping the stuff that I like still. So I'll feature this once a week, and I'd love to hear your comments and see if there's any albums here that you like as well, or if there's anything that you're looking for, or maybe a new discovery that you weren't aware of. So be happy to share and talk about that. Anyway, I hope you have a great week. Keep on collecting, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.